like a long time. I'm not tying my soul to the downward grind.
All right, welcome into Tony's Talking Trash About Music again. And tonight we're going to redo one that we did a long time ago. And I got to find these notes that we have here on. But I'm talking about the great band from Britain, one of the great British bands that everybody puts alongside. You know, they talk about, well, who are the contemporaries of the Beatles? Who are the contemporaries of the Stones? Who are that? A lot of people throw these guys into the mix, and I think they're great too. And I'm talking about the Kinks. I'm talking about Ray and Dave Davies, and we did this a long time ago. And unfortunately for the old channel, and it didn't get off the ground. But anyway, Mersey beat British Invasion, 1965. You really got me. You heard the feedback. You heard all the stuff that they have. They have a great history. You've got the whole history of them. Coming over here on the variety tour and things not going well, and then the alleged ban, which is, I've heard different things of different times, but members of the band, Ray Davies, Dave Davies, the ever fighting Davies brothers, all the way to the very end. The last one that we'll talk about here, pretty quick off the bat, actually. Mick Avery, of course, fabulous drummer, one of the great. When you talk about their great period and their great things, some of the great drumming that he does, even during some of the crazy period of Arista, and I don't blame him. He used to get pissed about those drum sounds that they used to have on those records. That figures in a lot to that to me. You got Pete Quaife, of course, great bass player, played up to Village Green. John Dalton, who took over that, was on Arthur, everything from there. Andy Pyle then took off. It sort of came during the theatrical age, walked in. John Gosling, Bob Henry kind of taken over during some of the late Arista records. And you got all kind of different people played with him. Clem Catini played drums sometimes. Nicky Hopkins, of course, is all over everything. You hear his piano, ding, 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 ding. Well, down, down, down by the riverside. I love them, man. They're a great band. It's one of my favorite ones. Lots of records here. They really never had, as far the interesting thing about them is that they really never had a lot of success in England, which is very, very strange. And you'd think that some of their stuff, at least some of the stuff that you would see hit worldwide and of course was big, but you always expected during the period of 70s. It's funny, you've got the period of time that it hit, but the time that the 70s stuff was real big over here in America, the stuff when they came, Catch Me Now I'm Falling, Come Dancing, all that didn't do anything over there. It's just it's a flip of the switch. Check out the charts if you need to, but they've been all over the place. They've done a lot of great things, and we're going to get started here. We've got a lot of records now. I'm again rating the studio records. We're not rating the live records. We're not rating the compilations, and I got a boatload of these things here that I can show you guys here at the end of this. Maybe save us to do another video or do an extra one. Give me a second here. I recommend this stuff. This Gallagher's 50/50. Kids, it's probably half of my composition of my body this time. But anyway, I got a list, man. So let's get going. There's 26 of these. And again, I'm talking about the big drum. I hate the drum sounds. I hate the sounds of some of these things. And one where I can think that it just never helped was right here. 1989's UK Jive. This is their Go for London Records over here. Aggravation, kind of UK Jive. What are we doing? The war is over. Dear Margaret, which is kind of embarrassing. It's kind of a political thing, embarrassing, but it's about UK. It's a UK Jive. I don't like the sound of the record. It really represents kind of a comeback period where, in my opinion, the record's pretty much from this period on. You're talking about 89 on. I don't think they contribute too much to the canon. You can see some other good stuff other places, but you have I don't know. Let's move on. I don't know what I'm trying to say here other than trying to be kind here at the end of the thing, and let's talk about the next one, number 25, CBS Records, 1993's Messphobia, where you're talking about hatred, the duet. Remember that one? Oh, the scattered, the last song, opening wall of fire, still searching, phobia, only a dream. This is not, to me. This is not the Kinks. These are guys kind of going in the studio, just making things up. There's really no group. There's no real group vibe on this whole record. This record again, technology, the time of the year. I've got a colored vinyl version here. You can see it's nice. Something inside here, some poster of something. I didn't even look at it. I don't. This period for me is not good. And everybody talks about, well, should the Kinks regroup? If it's going to be like this, I'm not sure. I would rather probably them lay out. I think they've done themselves a favor as to make their own Hackney Diamond or whatever the name of the last Rolling Stone thing is. But again, I'm not a real good fan of that one. Let's go all the way back here to the initial one, the Kinks. Different versions, different things here in the United States. We have some different versions here, and I guess it's called "You Really Got Me" here in the States. It's pretty much the same record. Beautiful Delilah, so mystifying. Long tall shorty. Took my baby back home. Cadillac. Stop Your Sobbing. I think Stop. I don't know if Sobbing is on this one or not. Yeah, it is. They just changed it. They changed the title. But here's the British one. Here's the U.S. one. The first record. This is a Hallmark one. So this is probably an extra reissue one from the original ones a long time ago. I guess on Pi or whatever record label they were. Now let's start into the period of time which I'm not crazy about. Some people are more crazy about other ones. And I've heard some people shriek when I've picked for this one, but I'm going to pick my least favorite of all the theatrical ones in the 70s, the theatrical period. And those of you who know the Kinks know what I mean, the preservation and all this stuff. A lot of it kind of tried to follow Village Green, but it didn't. It did it in a more of a 70s way, and picking the Lola vibe and the Arthur vibe. And I'm not about soap opera. I'm just not. Everybody's a star is okay. You can't stop the music. Have another drink. 9 to 5. I'm just not a big, I know the big presentation of it, and each one of these tours did okay, and RCA kept in investing in it, but it's, I don't like the songs that much. Ducks on the Wall, it's okay, you make it all worthwhile. But Star Maker's is really the only one I remember and single with this. I'm just not a big fan of this period, never have been. And so let's continue on when we're talking about it and go back to 74, which I think anybody will tell you that knows the band. That Preservation Act 2 is certainly inferior to Preservation Act 1, only because Preservation Act 2 is so damn long. You got the girls in here on the picture, and they've got everything happening, and money talks, and he's evil, Mirror of Love, Flash's Dream. That's kind of cool. Flash's Countdown, but that was a huge thing with this Scrap Heap City, Salvation Road. It's just kind of the same grandiose sweep with this stuff, but you don't really get it. Is this the open one, or is this? Yeah, this is the open one. This is not a deal. Here, you get everything in one little one. But it's nice to have this completely. And if you get this record, a lot of times it doesn't have that in it. This is, for some reason, you'll find tons of these without the lyric sheet. I don't know if the lyric sheet only came in some of them or some of the others it didn't. But again, I found it very hard to find anymore. It's, to me, yeah, if it was buying the record on my own, if it was a band that I didn't know, and it very well could be. I mean, if you're hearing the sound of it, I mean, you could see, name C Train or some other type of name of a band on that, and a record like that, and you wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, it's got those hallmarks of the Davies, stamp. This is our theatrical deal, but again, a lot of pro forma there, man. I think I just don't think it's. I don't think it's happening. Let's go to another one that's in a great era. Now, this is 1971. I'm talking about Percy. You've got some of this stuff. You've got the soundtrack film by the Kinks, seeing God's Children, the end, Will's Den. It's interesting. Whip Lady, Running Around Moments. Ray did all these. This is all Ray's music, and it's kind of like it's kind of like Ray's Family Way. I mean, kind of like that. Kind of like he's getting it wet here. Great cover. This is a great record store day reissue here. But again, one that I don't run to a lot. I mean, you've got a couple good songs on here. Certainly Lola's on here is a big one. But not so much ones that you turn to. A lot of music for a film, and that's for what it does. It does. Let's go to 1965 for number 20, and I'm talking about the kind of Kinks. I don't have the American here. I've left it over there. The kind of Kinks here. You've got this. Got my feet tired of waiting. Of course. You shouldn't be sad. Come on now, so long. Their version Dance in the Street, of course. Nothing in the world can stop me. I have a marble archery issue, not great of this one. But I've found that, the sound, at least of the ones that I've had of this record, for some reason, will really vary. I had another marble arch version of this before, actually, that was really crackly and really good. This one, for some reason, is pretty clear. So I'm not too bummed as far as this one goes, and that's 1965 and my number 20 kind of Kinks. It's got some good moments on it. Okay, we're still in the 80s for the next one. I'm talking about Think Visual, and it does have a couple good things on it. That's why we have here. Ray did it at Conk Studios. This is one of their home ones done where a lot of other bands work there. Kind of a baffling cover. I don't know what the hell this is all about, but you've got all the lyrics and stuff on the record here. Rock and Roll Cities, Think Visual, of course. Killing Time, When You Were a Child, Working at the Factory, of course, is the one I heard all the time on the radio. Lost and Found's good too. Again, victim of the sound of the records, big drums, big 80s sound. Once again, this is released around the same period of time. You're thinking about Think Visual here, 1986, where you've had, Dream of the Blue Turtles and Dire Straits and all this stuff. It's just, to me, again, it fights against the technology and fights against the requirements. So seeming the requirements at that time that every sound is synthetic. And they really didn't arrive at a great place. It doesn't fit them well. They're too much of a garage band, too much of a guitar band for that to benefit really well. The next one we are going to go to, I'm just going to pull and find out, and we're going to give the people what they want at number 18. This to me is the worst of all the Arista era records. This is one where I just, Destroyer, of course, is the big song on this, but a little bit of Abuse, Better Things. It's just too much all of one thing. And I like it okay. Better Things is okay. Yo-Yo's okay. Round the Dial, I'm not crazy about Killer's Eyes, but silly. But I like the record, but again, the drums on this is really where the sound of the drums and the sound of it is just this hard, big thrash. And it worked as far as the arena rock world went. And it worked for them to pull this. And it was okay for them to have a couple songs. But I really believe this song more than others. This one more than others doesn't have that many great songs on it. It has a couple good ones. It looked like they got most of the best ones. Yo-Yo, Destroyer. Around the Dial is good. I like Better Things too, but I don't like, again, Killer's Eyes. I don't like Back to Front. I don't like Add It Up. I just don't. I don't think it's it's a very good batch of tunes, and so that's why it is my number 18. We're going to go to number 17 now, and let's get to the second one of the theatrical bunch. Preservation Act number 1, of course, Morning Song, Daylight. Really worked out. Really, where are they now? One of their survivor, Johnny Thunder, and of course, with Johnny Thunder, surviving from the Village Green. That him playing the one. Here Comes Flash, sitting in the midday sun is a rehash before of the some of the themes that were on that. But it was engineered by Dave. Actually, Dave had a good engineered this. But again, Ray was it was Ray's fantasy, and this is kind of how it went. Demolition, good record, quality of songs better. Yes, I admit than the first one, and I think it fits itself in quite well here at 17. And we're going to move on to number 16, which is kind of separated a hair from Give the People What They Want. I'm talking about State of Confusion. State of Confusion is a good song. The title track's great. Come Dancing, of course, was the big hit with this. Young Conservatives, Bernadette. But again, I think State of Confusion, it's okay. Again, but a lot of the same sound. They went for the sound. It sounds like, okay, we're going to have it like this. And to me, some of these songs sound mailed in. A lot of people say that about Word of Mouth. I like Word of Mouth. Word of Mouth got a little bit more of a punk spirit to it. State of Confusion to me sounds to me kind of confused. And 83, and maybe it's a period of time that it went out, and there's a little bit of the influence of the time it's at. It's still a guitar record. It's still good. It's just a little bit too much all the time. Like, when I think most of these records are, the production of them are harsh. The production of them, they're guitar heavy. They're in your face. It only works for some of the material, and some of the material that they, attach these songs to, and that vibe. The vibe doesn't work, but they seem to be, really in that period of time when they're give the people what they want, era, and the live, and then the great live shows and stuff, which you're talking about, one for the road, that was a big. I was looking down here at it, the double one. I mean, it's jam packed with these things. Let's go to one where my opinions changed a little bit on. Now, I used to have this one a little bit lower, but I've got it at 15 now. I don't mind it near as bad. Schoolboy in Disguise. When I first heard this years ago, I didn't like it. There's something about it I didn't like it. Maybe the schoolboy uh, uniforms. Maybe I just felt like, it had been sticked out with him. But I like the Headmaster, I'm a Disgrace Now, finale, the first time we fall in love, School Days. I kind of like it now. I don't know what it is. There's something about it. I don't know. There's something about it that I like. It has a little more crack of a humor to it. Yes, this is more of a concept record. And this reminds me, and when you think about this era, when you think about this era of the Kinks, you think about maybe Jethro Tull and stuff, where every record had like a concept. And I think we're kind of in that era, and I think that era affected that. But anyway, a Schoolboy in Disgrace, 1975, another one from 1975, and I've got that at number 15. Let's get it to 14, a double one. The Magnificent, but too long. Everybody's a Star. I could lose the live stuff from this record. Motorway's great. Celluloid Heroes, of course, is superb song. The live versions, the stuff, Muswell, Hillbillies stuff, Lola, Babyface, good. Mr. Wonderful, yeah. But look on the sunny side, Celluloid Heroes, Hot Potatoes, Unreal. I just like the first one of these records. It kind of reminds me of what they did, the Beach Boys did with Carl and the Passions. They kind of latched this to a live thing or something else. And I guess they didn't use it like they did Pet Sounds with that, but I kind of get the same feeling with this, that I only want to listen to the studio part of this record. The live record's okay, but I really wish they would have put this out without it. And because of this, it's kind of lower for me, but I still love it a lot. I mean, I think the song "Celluloid Heroes" is one of the absolute best, and his writing was really spectacular on this studio side of this. And I think it's a cut above a lot of the stuff that followed this, all the theatrical stuff. This is kind of when it first all started. Um, but this is 1972. Everybody's in show business. This is when he started down the road, right after Lola. So we move on from here to number 13, and number 13 is going to be a record that hits everybody differently. Some people have this a lot lower. I love it. The Kink Kontroversy. A lot of people don't like. I love "Where Have All the Good Times Gone" a lot. I love Bowie's cover of it too. It's good. Till the End of the Day, Uh, Dave singing I Am Free." Milk Cow Blues, of course, is great. There's a lot of Dave on this record, and I like Dave. They Dave and he sing a lot with this. There's a lot of double singing, and Dave, of course, takes lead on a few of these. So that's why I really like it. I'm a Dave fan. I've got all his wacko solo records and stuff. I've got like Fractured Minds and that stuff. We can look at that stuff later. Um, but yeah, man, he's taking a real weird trip. And you see, I just saw recently something when they did that record store out in California did the "What's He in My Bag." I just saw he was on that, and they talked to him. And some of these guys are getting old. The light bulb's kind of on and off, and they say things. Sometimes they say things that they reveal a lot more than they should. But anyway, it's number 13. Number 12. Here we go. People are going to get mad that I rated this above the others, but I like it a lot. I think the songs are great. "Do It Again" is great. "Massive Reduction" sold me out. "Living on a Thin Line," Dave Davies, is great. "Too Hot." I like all these songs. "Missing Persons." The Word of Mouth. "Summer's Gone." What a great song that is. And I like it on that "Return to Waterloo" too. I think it's a lot of these songs are on that "Return to Waterloo" soundtrack that Ray put out later. I couldn't really tell the difference between these and those songs. I don't know if they're re-recordings or whatever. I mean, I have them both. but it's not a Kinks record. It should be because it's the same stuff. But I love the song "Summer's Gone." It's just a great, and I like the way in that record. Why do I like that record? Even though the drums rat-a-tat-tat, the snare drum, there's still the rejection of the '80s sound, and it's really strong. So that's it. That's what I like, and that's where we are with that one. Let's go to number 11. I'm going to talk about the Kingdom. This is the American version of it. Well respected, man, of course, man. See my friends. Who'll be the next in line? It's all right. The Louie cover is fine. There's still a little bit left of that. But truthfully, man, this is one of the ones where they start to really you can feel them coming into their own. And we're talking 1965, and it's a nice compromise between the early cover thing, the first record, and the first couple records, and then this is them moving forward, man. This is well respected, man. See my friends. I love that. I love that whole era there. And there's some non-LP singles from that same period. Let's talk next. Number 10. That pair of painted toenails here on the front and cigarette butts with lipstick. We're talking about I'm on a low budget. What did you say? It's a great record. This is a record that really had a lot of the character to it. I don't think the drums were nearly as bad. Or this drum sound was nearly as bad. It was a lot better of a drum sound. I think when it got bashy and loud, it got to be too clattery. It was a problem. Of course, you got a little bit of emotion, a gallon of gas, moving pictures. That's great. Attitude, Catch Me Now I'm Falling, of course, was the one, and Superman, National Health and Superman. Yeah, this is. I just think that the numbers of good songs you have in here, really memorable songs, are the highest of probably any Arista record that you got, and thus that's why the reputation of low budget is probably the most popular one. You guys let me know. I don't know, but for myself, I'm gonna go ahead and fit a couple more here in there before, and I'm going to go with Sleepwalker from 1977. I think this is a special one too, with jukebox music. Life Goes On, Sleepwalker, of course, and Mr. Big Man, Life on the Road. This is a special record. It has a special mood to it. It's different from all the other Arista records. I think there's a certain melancholy and a certain introspection to this, and a depth to this that kind of got stripped out of the later Arista records. There's still an artistic mystery to this record and the sounds of this that they kind of they forego those in the later records and just strip it down, and because they think that people want to hear that from the live thing, and they're probably right. But Sleepwalker, as far as I'm concerned, merit wise, is a great record, and so is the one from 1978, the Blissful Misfits. You've got the picture here of them on the front and the back. There's Dave on the back looking completely whacked out. Ray on the front. It's cool. Great record again. Bare bones as far as what you get. Misfits, of course, Hay Fever, Love Life, Rock and Roll Fantasy was the big hit with it, in a foreign land. Arista Records, Arista ready to throw some money at them, like they did Lou Reed and Clive Davis, trying to make a big deal. Trust Your Heart, Permanent Waves, Black Messiah. Really, the second side probably not as strong as the first side, but the first side just absolute knockout. And that's Clyde and the band at this time were we're getting ready for these big tours. Misfits are kind of pounding their chest, and you can't blame them. They'd worked hard for this supposed slight that they'd had before. So let's get to number 7, and this is probably a little bit of a surprise here, but we're going to go with. Most people would have this higher, but we're going to go with Power Man, Lola versus the Power Man and the Money Ground, and the great record that has, of course, Lola on it, Get Back in Line, Strangers, The Money Go Round, Top of the Pops, The Contenders, Tomorrow, Long Way from Home, Eight Man, of course, the great Eight Man, and Long Way from Home, Rats, and it just got to be free. This is a great record. This is really kind of a shift. I mean, If you think about Village Green, you think about where they were coming from and that kind of coming out of the Beatles thing. This is where they kind of drew their own line and said, we're going to do our thing. Not that they followed a stripped down, let it be thing, but it just kind of does have more of a sound of that, of a guitar based thing, of a guitar based ensemble, maybe augmented. And that's kind of the way that it went from there. Lola, that I can't even estimate to you the impact that Lola had on a young kid's mind when you hear that. Let's get down to number 6. Let's get down to one of the big ones, man, the early ones, King Size, 1965 hits all day and all the night. So tired of waiting for you. I got to go now. Come now. Revenge. I've got that feeling. Yeah, you got some covers here, but this is the raw thing, man. This is the peak here. I mean, I don't know how you feel about All Day and All the Night and Tired of Waiting, but these are to me, the probably the two quintessential songs. You really got me, but the truth of it is I always thought these were a lot more musical. And so that's why I have King Size all the way up at number 6. I'm going to go to number 5, where all the good stuff now is. And let's talk about Muswell Hillbillies. Let's talk about that return back a la Dylan to a simpler thing, to a simpler life, to simpler songs. What a great collection here. Alcohol, 20th Century Man, Have a Cup of Tea, Oklahoma, USA, Muswell Hillbilly on the great Dynaflex record. You've got the beautiful sitting outside the pub here and Muswell. It's what it is, man. Just the regular English people. And it's kind of took a cue from the Village Green. English-centric subject matters. And then the fall kind of carried them on in their own way, too. That's the Kinks number 5. At number 4, we go to Arthur, of course. Of course, you've got Victoria. Yes, sir, no, sir. Shangri-La, Arthur, nothing to say. Mr. Churchill says Shangri-La, of course. Great vehicle for live things. Great versions of this live all over the place. Really where they came back into their own. Started building themselves back up after the supposed ban in America. Big hit with this stuff. And we're talking Arthur, and we are talking, that is number 4, 1969. Number 3, let's get to the cream of the crop here. Face to Face with the Kinks. You're talking Face to Face, and great record here. Party Line. You've got Holiday in Waikiki. I remember Sunny Afternoon, of course. You're Looking Fine. A lot of House in the Country, which is really, really fantastic. Dandy, too, of course. And this is just a lot of Dave Davies here. This originally released in 1966. Just David is something else, and Dave really had a lot to do with some of this record too. And it's kind of a great balance. It's probably as high of control that Dave ever had. He kind of had to take a back seat somewhat after that, and he had his little singles, Tears, the Clown Song, but this is I got a great mono version of this, and that's my number 3, Face to Face. There's only 2 left. And where are we going to go with only 2 left? Well, we're going to go to something else by the Kinks, and of course, David Watts, Death of a Clown, Funny Face, Waterloo Sunset, of course, one of the great songs of all time, one of the great English songs, one of the great moments, I think, when English had the World Cup was when they had Ray up there singing on the bridge, fake bridge or something. That was just wonderful. Though I won't be afraid. Oh, it was great. He was fantastic. But anyway, this is a moment in time, man. This is when the Beatles were revolving. This is when something else. This is when shit was just blazing. And all this is great. To be able to breathe the air in the room of what's going on when they're doing Two Sisters and Love Me Till the Sun Shines, Lazy Old Sun. I mean, this is the heart of the band kicking, man. And this is great. And that leads to 1967, and that leads me only to one other place. And everybody's favorite record, and I'm not surprised that it's my favorite record either. I'm talking about the Revolutionary Village Green Preservation Society, front to back, great. Completely unlike any other Kinks record, fleshed out in a conceptual way, in a Sgt. Pepperish way. I don't know what you want to call it. One of the great records of all time. Do you remember Walter Picture Book, Johnny Thunder? I mean, just one after the other. Wicked Annabella, Monica, Starstruck, Village Green, Animal Farm. People take pictures of each other. I remember very fondly growing up. We had a performance hall here in town that my kids and I, for at least a couple performances, performed a bunch of songs from this record. Ones that you wouldn't think, like not the hit ones like Picture Book, and people take pictures of each other. We used to have a good time with this stuff. It's really an important record. And of course, Joe could probably lead you on a long dissertation of the different versions of this. Here certainly is one of the bootleg of one of the early different versions of it. They had it out before. It had a different, as you can see, it had a completely different list. I got this up at Jerry's, or not Jerry's. I got this at the Attic, I think. Right there's the Attic sign on Pie Records. It's kind of a bootleg, but on the first side of this, on this is Village Green, Do You Remember Walter, Picture Book, Johnny Thunder, Monica, and Days. Village Green, Mr. Songbird, Annabella, Starstruck, Phenomenal Cat, People Take Pictures. So, most of the same songs are on there, but in a different way. But hey, what a time, what a period of time. And what is so disappointing was the utter, popular rejection of this. I mean, it didn't get a smell. And you think about the greatness of the art with this, there's probably not another record that didn't receive any of the accolades that it should have got, that deserves more from the bank at this point than the Village Green Preservation Society. In other words, the industry needs to go back and say, sorry, we need to kiss your rear because we were so wrong about this. This is so great. Why this didn't sell, we don't know. Why we didn't promote it, why it didn't break, we don't know. But we owe you. And anybody who has not heard this record and doesn't know this record heart to heart and doesn't like this record, I'm not sure I want to be friends with people like that. I mean, if you don't like the Village Green, there's so much. I mean, it's about the English people. It's about life. It's about everyday task. It's a beautiful, beautiful record. I don't see how. It's a celebration of life. It really is, and it's great. And I love the Kinks, and I hope you love the Kinks too. Please let me know what you guys think about the Kinks. Do us a big favor. It's not going to hurt anybody. Please hit that like button. See if you can try it. If you press it, I promise you it's not going to hurt you. Please help us out with that. And we really appreciate you subscribing. Most of all, we love to have you around here. Let us know your thoughts, your lists, whatever you have. Thanks for another evening with Tony Talks Trash, and we will catch you next time.